Kristina White is a certified exercise nutrition coach in Las Vegas, Nevada. In addition to being a coach, she also has a full-time 9-to-5 job, a small meal prep business, and is a wife and mother. Her journey to her passion of helping others be their healthiest selves began when she herself was extremely unhealthy. At more than 100 pounds overweight, she was considered morbidly obese, and her weight was a serious threat to her health. With the help of her own coach, she was able to lose almost 100 pounds and become the most fit she has ever been. And now she dedicates herself to helping others do the exact same thing. And we are going to have a lot of fun today. Kristina, you ready to rock the house?
Yes, I am.
Yes, she is. Awesome.
A little nervous, but that's
yes. All right. We're going to have fun. So thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to come on here and share about your journey and what you are up to, what you're creating, how you're empowering people these days. Thank you so much for gracing us and our audience with your presence.
For sure. Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. So we're going to dive right in today to the theme of the day, which is what is the gift? So Kristina, how has this mindset of when challenges and adversity and obstacles get thrown at you, how do you look for the gift in them? How do you look for the lesson, the wisdom, the pearl that is within that challenge?
Well, like you said, typically challenges end up teaching us a lesson, and most challenges in my life, even when I can't see them at the time, have taught me a lesson, and usually I bring that into whatever my new project is, or even in just a conversation with somebody. They may need the advice that I learned from past experience from those challenges. So even though at the time they don't seem like it, challenges are definitely a gift.
Yeah, so it sounds like what you really find the most value in is being able to apply it to others and give that to others and use that wisdom that you've gained and the hardship you've gone through to actually make the difference for others.
Absolutely, yeah. I definitely find myself drawing on my own experience, especially, in my life as a coach. Drawing on my own experience is usually where I think I make the most impact for people.
Wow. Yeah, absolutely. It's the stories that people remember versus facts and telling people what to do. It's if we can share a metaphor, if we can share something, a personal story or something that we did with a client or someone we know or a famous person, that's what's going to stick in their subconscious.
Yeah, people don't remember for the most part. I mean, there's those people who have the fact-oriented brains and they'll remember, grams of this and that kind of thing. But typically people, like you said, remember stories and personal anecdotes and seeing what somebody else has been able to do. So, yeah.
All right. Well, we are going to dive in next to what you're working on today. I read your intro, and thank you, by the way, for sharing about this mindset of how you handle adversity and when challenges happen and looking for the gifts. And we'll be discussing that more throughout the interview. But why don't you share a little bit more with our audience about what you do specifically today and how you help and serve people?
Currently, I'm a nutrition coach at my gym, Project Fitness in Las Vegas. We have a small group of people in our nutrition program right now, but we're growing all the time, always adding new people. We just have a approach to nutrition where each person is different, and we base their plan on whatever their goals are. Because everybody is different. Everybody's body type is different. Everybody's goal is different. Not everybody either wants or needs to lose weight. Not everybody wants to be shredded. Some people just want to know how to eat to have a healthy life. Yeah.
Yeah, feel good, have great energy. That's a lot. Oftentimes, people are at the point in their life where it's like, I don't have anyone to impress. I don't need to be shredded. That's not necessary. But what I want is to make sure that I have, longevity in my years. I have mobility. I don't injure myself easily because of extra weight or whatever it might be.
Right, and that's one of the things when we first start talking to people is we have them set goals in 3 different areas. One is aesthetic, because most people have, they want the abs or they want the nice round squat booty or something. But we also want them to set goals for health and performance in the gym, because typically if you're not seeing results in the aesthetic department, you'll be seeing them somewhere else, and it'll keep you motivated. If you only have, a number on a scale as your goal, that can stop being motivating after a while. So
yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that. We got some awesome support out in the audience. Looks like our friend Petya is sharing some hearts.
Of course she is.
And some love and awesomeness. We love Petya. She has amazing energy. She's awesome.
Yep.
So great stuff. So we're going to go back a little bit and rewind back to your journey before we start diving into more of the, fitness mindset and what you're going to be sharing with our audience today. And we want to know what was the journey like? Where did you start, and what were some of the challenges that you had to overcome, obstacles that you had to overcome, those pearls of wisdom to get to where we are today?
Well, just in case, I grabbed one of my before and after pictures. So people can see where I started.
Oh my gosh.
In that one, I was, like I said, I was about 100 pounds overweight. That was just at the heaviest I weighed myself. As you can imagine, as a over 100-pound overweight woman, I wasn't weighing myself all the time. So it's entirely possible that I weighed more than what I think my heaviest was. But anyways, I was roughly somewhere around the 235-pound range. So at 5 feet tall, I was definitely considered morbidly obese. Thankfully, at that point, I didn't have any extreme health issues yet from that. But again, I wasn't weighing myself very often. I wasn't going to the doctor and getting my blood work done and all of that. So it's entirely possible that I had, high cholesterol or something like that. But I didn't have any outward ill effects aside from being tired all the time, body being achy, no motivation. It started in high school, I wasn't active. I wasn't into any sports. It just was never my thing, despite my mom always trying. My mom was always very healthy, always very fit, didn't keep junk food in the house. But when I hit 16 and had my own car and my own money, I discovered fast food, and that's kind of where I started to go downhill. And then I met my husband when I was 18. And as some people do, you get comfortable in a relationship, you go out to eat all the time, and we kind of just slowly started gaining weight together and just kept on gaining it. And I did all of the crash diets. I tried all the quick fixes, and just like with most people, it didn't work. And I think I was 31, and one day my husband said, "I'm going to go to the gym." We had a little gym in our apartment complex, and I was like, "Okay, that's weird, but all right." Just wasn't, we didn't work out. We didn't exercise. Right. And my daughter at the time was, I think maybe she had just turned 1. So she didn't really understand the concept of someone being overweight. At that time, I was just her mommy, But so he went to the gym, and I thought, well, if he's going to go, I'm going to go. And we just started going. We started going 5 or 6 days a week. And then one day we discovered CrossFit. And I can tell you that saved both of our lives. I mean, I know CrossFit has a lot of stigmas or whatever attached to it. A lot of people roll their eyes when they hear CrossFit. But
amazing.
It truly...
foundation. It's like teaches you how to do all the important moves,
It does, and it covers everything. There's Olympic weightlifting, there's powerlifting, there's gymnastics, there's conditioning. It just covers everything. So we had been doing that for about a year when a new coach walked into the gym, and that moment is when my life truly changed. I don't know how many people are lucky enough to have a true mentor in their life, but my coach has been my mentor. He's been my coach. He's been my teacher. He's been my friend. He's kicked my ass into gear more times than I can count. But that day, when he walked in, I didn't know it at the time, but that day would change the entire trajectory of my life.
That's awesome.
Because I hadn't really started getting my nutrition together at that point. I was working out all the time, and I was kind of eating. I was like trying paleo, you know, that most people try that when they first start CrossFit. But I wasn't consistent with anything. And Drew, my coach, decided to start a nutrition program for our gym. And I jumped at the chance to be in the initial group for it. And it just clicked for whatever reason. Everything he told me, just I absorbed it. It made sense to me. And that's really when my weight loss really happened. My health got better. And I discovered that I had a passion for nutrition. So it took a couple of years after that, but that's when I really lost most of the weight. And in the end, I started helping him with the nutrition program. And then when he decided to open his own place, I automatically knew I would go with him. And that was a little over a year ago. And we've just been slowly growing our nutrition program. And one day last year, we started talking about me getting certified. Not because I didn't have the knowledge, because I learned so much from him, but it would just be good to have that certification, you know, just for credibility. And so despite having 3 jobs and a kid, I studied at night and got my nutrition certification. And when I hit submit on that very last test and the next screen said, "Congratulations," I burst into tears and cried for probably 20 minutes straight, because it was like the culmination of everything that I had been, not just the nights of studying, but the years of changing my life. So sorry, that was a really long story, but that's just kind of where I came from.
Own it. I love it. And I love how you mentioned that you didn't do it on your own. You know, first your husband, he's like, "I'm going to go work out." And you're like,
"Oh, okay." Yeah. And I definitely want to make sure everybody knows he's been my partner, my workout buddy through all of this. Like he's also lost over 100 pounds.
Damn.
So, I mean, we've lost an entire obese person together.
Wow.
So he was my first workout buddy and has always been my my partner in this. But awesome. Drew was for sure my mentor and still is.
Yeah. I'm curious, what was it about Drew that had you be, you know, what was it? What is it that makes a good mentor for you? What did you see in him?
I don't know, because Drew has a very kind of unique, gruff personality. Most people who know him and are listening right now are probably laughing and nodding their heads. He might not be what most people would look at as your typical, like, touchy-feely, let's get in touch with our feelings mentor. He's not like that at all. But for whatever reason, I responded really well to that. And he has an amazing story himself. Do you mind if I just quickly?
Please.
He, at a very young age, kind of got on the very wrong side of the law and ended up in a really bad place in prison. And spent, I believe, 7 years in prison. And a lot of people in that situation end up becoming better criminals. Yeah. And he decided to go the opposite way. His health was not good. He wasn't in good shape. And he just decided to change that while he was in prison. With the limited resources he had, he studied via correspondence to learn about nutrition. And he just started helping the guys that were in with him. They started doing CrossFit together with the very limited amount of equipment they had. he told stories about tying up rocks in bed sheets and tying them to broomsticks to lift weights.
Wow.
And I mean, you can probably imagine the nutrition in prison isn't like that great, but somehow he made it work. And he said the best part about it was that it was like a lab, because he had 100% control over what these guys were eating, because he saw them every day. They weren't like at home sneaking stuff when he didn't see them. So it was they were perfect test cases. And so he helped so many people change their life while he was in prison.
Wow.
And when he got out, he decided that's what he wanted to do with his life. And he's never looked back. And he's built this amazing gym. If anyone is in Las Vegas listening to this and needs an amazing gym, Project Fitness. Like we're like a family there. And Drew's just made an amazing community for us. So, and I'm super, super happy and grateful to be a part of that.
Wow. I love it. I love it. I love it. Awesome. So thank you for sharing that journey and that story. I'm curious, like along the path, did you doubt yourself? Like, what were the biggest challenges to be able to get through? Like, what did you have to break through to get to where we are today?
All the time. And still, like, one thing that I never really understood, and I try to impart to other people when they're on a journey of getting healthier, is I always thought the losing the weight part would be the biggest challenge. But to be honest, the maintenance is the hardest part, because it's not like you get to a point where you're healthy and then you're like, okay, I'm done. You know,
now I can eat whatever.
You have to constantly maintain it.
Yeah.
And myself as a food addict, because 100% I was a food addict. I could easily go back to that anytime. And it's scary. You know, it's scary to think all of this could be for nothing. I mean, it's never going to happen. I got too many people who would kick my ass if that ever happened. But, but anyways, to answer your question, I don't know. I guess in the beginning, the results I was getting kept me motivated. But I think I started to see what life could be like with fitness and health being part of my life. It was something that I never really understood what I was missing, because I didn't realize how bad I felt until I felt better, if that makes any sense. Yeah. Like if you're unhealthy, and especially if you're overweight and you've been that way for most of your life, you don't really know what it feels like to feel any different. But once you do, it's like, oh wow, this feels awesome. Another
example is when a fish is underwater, it doesn't know that it's underwater until it gets taken out of water. Then it's like, oh crap, I want more water.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's a perfect example. So I always think, wouldn't it be awesome, like if I could do some sort of virtual reality thing where I could feel again what it felt like to be 100 pounds overweight? Because you forget, like anything else, you just get used to, like, this is how I feel now. I would love to go back and as just a reminder to know what it feels like. Because sometimes I'll just lift 100 pounds and go, oh my gosh, I used to carry this around with me all the time. No wonder I was tired. No wonder my body hurt, So I guess just feeling better was a motivator. My husband doing it, because the great thing about doing it with a partner is when you're not feeling so into it, they keep you going, and then vice versa. It's very rare where you're both feeling like ugh at the same time,
Right. Yeah.
And also my daughter. I mean, I love that she's growing up around a fitness community. Like, she's always at the gym with us. Every Sunday she's at the gym, and she's playing on the ring. She makes little workouts for herself. She's 7.
That's awesome.
She just started a CrossFit Kids class. So the fact that she's always going to be around that is a huge motivator for me to stay the course. And she was a motivator for me throughout the whole thing.
It's beautiful. I love it. So let's dive into more of the philosophy of health being a main focus, being a lifestyle, being a way of living versus like a side project, a hobby, something that, one toe in, one toe out. Let's just start getting into the meat and potatoes, so to speak, or the, green beans and cauliflower of this.
It's funny because there's someone, and if he's listening right now, he knows who I'm talking about, that equates cauliflower to sadness. So it's funny that you said cauliflower. We always make jokes about how cauliflower equals sadness. So I guess one of the biggest points that I try to get to my clients is that if you want to be healthy, it has to be a complete lifestyle change. It can't be something that, you do for a real quick fix, or you do for a couple of months, or you do for a 90-day challenge. Those are great, like jump starts. Those are great boosters, but it's a quick fix. It's not something that you're going to be able to maintain your whole life. So, the habits that you change to become more healthy have to be something that you can maintain your whole life.
Yeah.
So you can't go without something that, like, say you love chocolate. And this is just an example off the top of my head. People saying, okay, from now on, I'm not going to eat chocolate anymore. Well, I mean, if you love chocolate, first of all, why would you give it up for the rest of your life? You don't have to. It's just an example of an extreme that people think they need to go to be healthy, but they don't. And those are the people who have a hard time maintaining any sort of program because they think they have to go hardcore, otherwise they're not going to get results. Results happen by making small changes over time.
Amen.
And I think that
real quick, two books for our audience, two books to recommend. One is The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy, which is like small changes over time lead to incredible results. I swear by it. It's like one of the very first personal development books I read. The other is The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. So I'll type both of those in the comments. They're both good, all about incremental changes. Thanks for letting me plug that in.
No, for sure. But no, it's true. Some people say, oh, you have to make this huge change. You have to, jump in and just do it, hardcore. Some people are able to do that. I was able to do that in the very beginning. I always tell people the first 4 months of the nutrition program, I was 100% on point, never had a cheat meal in 4 months. I had amazing results, but by the end of the 4 months, I was losing my freaking mind.
Yeah.
Because that is not sustainable. So there's a lot of my clients that I have to kind of rein in the beginning because they want to go all out, because first of all, they're excited for this new change, and that makes me happy because they need that excitement. But that excitement to go that hardcore does not last. So we start everybody making very, very small changes, and you master one habit and then you move on to the next one, and they just slowly build on each other. And I always tell people, like, when they want to move past the fundamentals that they haven't mastered yet, I said, imagine if you built a house on a shitty, cracked foundation. It might stay up for a year or two and look great, but eventually it's going to fall down because you did not give it a good foundation. And that's the same with health. That's the same with exercising. You learn the basic fundamentals. So when you learn how to hold yourself on a bar. So when you're doing a ring muscle up a couple of years later, the fundamentals and you don't hurt yourself. You're not going to go for a ring muscle up the first time you're in the gym. So you're not going to go, you're not going to try to change every aspect of your health the first time you meet with a nutrition coach.
Yeah, that's powerful. And I love that the foundation, everything is so foundation. Life is about foundation. It's about incremental steps. And for people who think they're too good for the basics and want to quantum leap, that's the fastest way to like rock it up and then, fizzle out, crash and burn, whatever it might be.
Yep.
burnout. And it's the slow, steady, incremental success that causes the results to stick around. And think about, like you were mentioning, Kristina, about if people get the results, but it was on a crash diet, it was on super unhealthy, it was like just totally not good for their organs, their body, their bones, etc. Yep. That's the same as when people win the lottery and they get all this money and they don't have the mindset to handle the wealth. And within like 1 or 2 years, they're back to like being broke again. Or within 1 or 2 years, they like hate their life and they're even more miserable than when they started. And, people resent them and they don't like anybody, whatever it might be. So it's like those extreme results, like life is going to swing us anyways, right? So don't accelerate the pendulum if you don't have to. Just do the commit to the lifestyle, commit to the long haul, and you'll see the results as long as you stay in the game and keep asking for help from amazing people like Kristina.
Well, thank you. And like you said, that can apply to any aspect of life. That's business, relationships, anything. You have to build the foundation. Otherwise, at some point, it's all going to come crumbling down. So that's what I always try to start people with, regardless of what their goals are, regardless of if they have 200 pounds to lose or they have 10 pounds to lose, it doesn't matter. Typically, if somebody's coming in and needing a nutrition coach, unless they're, a performance athlete and they're just looking up to step up their game a little bit, that's a completely different story because they already have the foundation. I'm talking about people who have had unhealthy habits. And despite what people think, the like skinny looking girls and the skinny looking guys out there, that does not mean that they are healthy. I know so many people who are, I like to call it skinny fat. They look skinny on the outside, but they're all messed up on the inside because they don't have good habits. And those people need to start exactly the same way as somebody who's 200 pounds overweight.
Yeah. I do want to say, if you guys have any questions for Kristina while she's here, make sure you ask them. We got a ton of people engaging. I'm going to give some shout outs to Erica Young. She says, those shoulders though. Jen Nicoli, my sis is so buff. Jen says, hi. Erica Young. Drew, we were talking about Drew earlier. Erica says, you're so amazing, Kristina. Petya is just like bombing this conversation with, you guys are my fave. Emoji. Yes. Clay Davis says, you both have killed it. David Nicoli says, webinar superstar Kristina. Valicia.
That's my brother.
That's your brother? Okay. Valicia says,
anyone with Nikolai is family.
Nikolai's family. Got it. And then Valicia says, Drew likes to reference Zumba a lot. He loves it. And then Mike, your husband, says it's very difficult to practice pull-ups and watch you at the same time. Winky, smoochy face. Valicia says Project Fitness for life. Shamika says, I want those arms. And then we get talking about park workouts. Angel says heart emoji. And lots of great stuff. Lots of people having fun out there. So if you all have questions for Kristina or just want to say something else, how much you love her, how much you appreciate her, now's the time. You'll get
I love all of them.
Shouted out live on this interview, which is always awesome. So we're going to keep diving in terms of the being able to create this healthy, sustainable lifestyle. What else do we need to know?
For me, the biggest foundation for a healthy lifestyle is good nutrition. I know so many people who kill themselves in the gym every day and then go home and eat fast food. And it's just, again, that's something that you might be able to get away with for a while, but in the long run, it's going to catch up with you. Nutrition is about 80% of your health. And not just for performance in the gym, but just for everything, for cardiovascular health, for digestive health. Like, there's just so many things that can be improved simply by improving your diet. And I mean, I'm a great example of that. Even with having good nutrition, like I've had some health issues that I've had to deal with, and most of them have been either fixed or improved just by nutrition.
Yeah,
eat your veggies too.
Yes, eat your veggies. Yes, I love it. One of the guests earlier today was talking about health and nutrition too, and I think one of the biggest things to be aware of is whatever we put into our mouth is like integrated and assimilated into our body. Like our body, I think she was saying our body regenerates itself, all the cells and stuff, like every 4 years completely. So we have like a new body. Obviously we're like the same body and we can't like just say, hey, I want a new body. But you know, it's like our body reconstitutes itself from what we eat over the course of about 4 years completely. So think about what you're putting in your body, whether it's like GMO foods or whether it's, you know, fast food, processed, whatever, the oils and stuff like that. Like that becomes your body, or the sugars and the sodas and the processed chemicals, like chemicals, there's a lot of chemicals in a lot of processed foods. That becomes your body. And imagine if you were like feeding your body and your body was rebuilding itself with the chemicals that you're putting into it rather than whole foods or you know, really nutritious plants and veggies and fruits, or, you know, really great quality meat if you're eating meat, you know, whatever it might be. I think it's just so important to be aware of what we eat, we become, and like what we eat, that's how we feel. Yep.
And I think one of the biggest things that you know, I try to help people with is mindful eating, and that comes kind of with what you're saying is in this age that we're living in, everybody's so busy, everybody's needs things that are fast and quick, and typically things that are fast and quick are not nutritious, and we eat everything so fast that we're not even thinking about what we're eating while we're eating it. So it's so easy to eat something that's junk and really not even pay attention to it. Like how many people, if you ask them right now, what did you eat today, could accurately tell you what they ate today? Probably not a lot, because most people, and when I say accurate, I don't mean like, oh, you know, I had an omelet for breakfast and I had a sandwich for lunch, but they don't tell you the candy they grabbed out of the candy bowl on their way to their desk, or the 5 packs of sugar that they put in their coffee in the morning. That kind of stuff people don't kind of equate with their overall nutrition. So even people who think that they're eating healthy have a lot of those unhealthy things that come in because they're not eating mindfully. So we, not to give any proprietary secrets out about our nutrition program, but one of the basis of our program is everybody logs what they eat. Because that's the first step. For me, that's the first step in mindfully eating. If you have to write down every single thing that you put in your mouth, you're probably going to be a lot less likely to put something random that you're not even thinking about. Like how often do we grab something that's there just because it's there and eat it and not really even enjoy it? Like I said before, if you love chocolate, if that's your thing, have chocolate, but enjoy it. Like put the piece in your mouth and like savor the taste of it, and don't just cram a candy bar in your mouth and 10 seconds later it's gone, and for what was the point of it?
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying don't eat for enjoyment, but if you're going to eat for enjoyment, enjoy it. Don't just shovel it in. Don't just shovel that disgusting McDonald's greasy hamburger in. Like, have a really good hamburger, enjoy it, and don't beat yourself up about it later. That's another thing. Is I think people punish themselves and beat themselves up about when they make mistakes and when they fall off the wagon. We all make mistakes, and I always tell people, fall down 100 times as long as you get up 101 times. It doesn't matter how many times you fall off the wagon. It doesn't matter how many times you fail, as long as you never give up, as long as you try again after that, because there's one day something is going to click.
Yes. Yeah.
And I've seen it so many times that people just like so tired of failing over and over, but then that light bulb goes off and they get it. And that's what happened with me. I wasn't just all of a sudden like this fit person. Like I went through all of the crash diets and trying everything and failing over and over and over again and thinking to myself, this is just how I'm going to be. I'm just going to accept it. This is how I'm going to be. And then one day something just clicked. So you just got to keep trying.
Yeah.
I think I keep wandering off the topic of
it's
whatever
perfect.
you
You're
asked
perfect.
me. But
You're perfect.
like
Perfect.
These things keep coming into my head that I want to make sure I share.
Someone wanted to hear it in the audience. That's why it happened. So
agree.
just trust.
Yep.
Just trust.
Yep.
Also, I wanted to say is that about the mindfulness, right? Mindfully eating. When you eat that piece of chocolate, when you eat that cheeseburger, whatever, right? Whatever your thing is, enjoy it. Be grateful for it. Don't be guilty. Don't shame yourself after. Like, give yourself permission. And one of the best ways to not have to feel guilty about it is to plan your meals out in advance.
Yes.
Plan your pleasure out in advance, right?
Yep.
You might say, hey, I'm going to have a cheat day that's on Saturday and I can kind of eat whatever I want, but you still want to have a general guideline of like how many calories or what kind of meals you cheat with or whatever it might be. So it's like spontaneous to some degree, but not like, hey, I'm just going to eat whatever I want and like 7,000 calories later, you know.
Right, exactly. But yeah, that is exactly it. We don't restrict people from having their treat meals. I don't like to call it a cheat meal so much because cheating sounds like something that's bad.
Yeah.
And if it's something you plan, I don't think it's bad. Now, if you're doing it, every day or 3 times a week, then maybe we need to have a separate discussion. But if you, like you said, if you plan it in advance and you enjoy it, there's no reason to beat yourself up about it. There's no reason to feel guilty about it because that was part of your plan. Yeah. But there's a lot of people who are like me who have to be very, very careful with treat meals because for me, and I still battle this mindset, it's very easy to go, well, I ate bad for breakfast. I might as well just eat bad the rest of the day. I'll eat bad this weekend. I'll start again on Monday. Well, maybe next week, and so on and so on and so on until it snowballs. That happens all the time. So we have to be very careful with people who are especially in the beginning with doing too many of like the treat meals and stuff. But again, you can't deprive yourself or it's not sustainable. We just have to, again, be extremely mindful of how we're doing that and plan it in advance. Yeah.
So true. So true. And another thing, we kind of brushed on it, but that mindfulness is really being aware of the patterns of your subconscious programming. A lot of times people don't even recognize that they're running on autopilot. That like these cravings, like you were talking about, the next thing you know, you're just running through the pantry or the fridge and just picking up stuff, eating it left and right because you're just like doing something.
We're sitting in front of the TV. There's a lot of people who equate sitting in front of the TV with snacking. I have a hard time with that at night, because at night is when I take, a little bit of time for myself and I unwind and I watch a show, and it's because for so long sitting in front of the TV equaled snacking for me. So I have to be really careful of that because like you said, if you're not mindful about what you're eating, it's so easy for those extra calories to come in. And that's another thing that a lot of people don't understand about getting healthy, and especially when it comes to having to lose a lot of weight, is it's not the physical part that's difficult. It's the mental part. Our attachment to food and our association with food. Think about social gatherings. There's always food. Yeah. Think about when we make plans with our friends. We're meeting at a restaurant. We're meeting at a bar. Like our lives revolve around consuming food and beverages, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like food is a part of the fabric of our society. You just have to, change your mindset about it. It doesn't always have to be about the food. You can go and have a good time without eating. You can go and have a good time without drinking. Or if you're going to go to a restaurant with your friends, either plan it as like we were talking about as your treat meal, or look up the menu in advance and make a good choice. There's very, very few places where you can't figure out something that is is the best option possible.
Right.
I always tell people, make the best decision with the options that you have. You know, if you're stuck all day at somebody's house and all they have is junk food, I'm not going to tell you to starve. I'm just going to tell you, make the best decision with the options that you have available.
Yeah.
And always keep a protein bar in your car.
Amen. Amen. Absolutely. Absolutely. So
be prepared.
You win tomorrow by preparing today. That's my philosophy is, you know, I always, whenever I go on like road trips or to seminars and stuff like that, I come with so much prepared, so much of like, what am I going to need at this point, at this point, at this point? Like I think it out in advance. So everyone like think out in advance. Like another thing I do that is not health related, but I keep like $40 in my glove box just in case I ever, you know, forget my wallet somewhere and I run out of gas. It's like, who knows, you know, why? But it's like prepare to be like ready for that. Have a, you know, a protein mix shake or a plastic baggie or something like that in your car ready to go if you are running low on that, or you know, there's always ways to win and make life easier so you don't have to rely on pure willpower to get yourself through.
And that's you know, that's what's awesome about meal prep. It takes some time, and it takes some time to master, but once you get it down, like having meals that you can just grab out of your refrigerator every day is a freaking game changer. I am pretty much always meal prepped because I cook for other people as well, so it forces me to be prepped for myself. But on the occasional weeks when I don't have to, if I'm not prepared, inevitably that's when I end up eating, you know, at a restaurant. I still try to make the best choices I can, but you don't have as much control over what you're eating when you're eating out at a restaurant. So being prepared in any aspect of life is how you're going to be successful long term.
That's right. That's right. So what other big challenges do you see your students, your clients encountering that we can give our audience some wisdom into, some insight into, so that we don't have to deal with those?
Let's see. Just learning what nutritious food is. You know, because we live in a time of the processed, quick, like I was talking about before, grab and go kind of things. And while having those around is great for convenience, even like the health food stuff, nothing is better than real food. So learning what what things are nutritious and how to prepare them, and what kinds of food to eat and how much food to eat, like those are all huge challenges. But again, as long as we're making small changes over time, they're easy to overcome. So yeah.
Yeah, that's it. And I love the mindset of like win before you've even begun. Right? Before you've even begun, it's like prepare, like have the people in your life, like Kristina, like myself, like other people, you know, Drew and whoever else is in your life to support you on these goals and on your mission. Have these people in your life. How else do you see yourself gathering together, building communities around fitness moving forward? How do you see yourself playing a role in that and really making a difference in that aspect?
You actually bring up a really good point of something that I deal with quite frequently with people who are new to fitness and nutrition. Is it is so important to surround yourself with people who are like-minded, because I don't know how many times I've either had somebody that I'm helping personally, or just a friend, or somebody in the community who has people in their life who are not supportive of them. It makes the journey so much more difficult. And I tell people, if you're very serious about getting your health and your life together, you have to be prepared that there's some people who may not play as active a role in your life as they do now. And I mean, it sounds harsh to say, oh, you're going to have to get rid of some of the people in your life, but really that's what it comes down to. Think about as a business person, when you're trying to build your business, the last thing you want is people around you who are a drag and who are like, dude, let's just go out. Don't go to bed early so you can get up for this meeting. Just come out with me. It's going to be fun. It's the same thing with health and nutrition. If you have people who are constantly at you, like, oh, your stupid nutrition log, you don't have to write that down. Yeah, you don't have to eat that protein. Just come eat this ice cream with me, you know?
Oh man.
But I mean, that happens all the time. And I mean, it's not always a situation where you can cut people like that out of your life, because unfortunately sometimes it is spouses, it is kids, it is people who are permanent fixtures in your life. But if you can surround yourself with a majority of people who have like-minded goals and support you, that's going to be make the journey so much easier. I mean, people can do it without that, but it's just so much more difficult. But as you were saying about the community, you know, we're just at our gym, we're just getting started. We're just getting started reaching out to people and bringing them into our family and bringing them into our community and helping them see how much fun a fit and healthy lifestyle can be. So we just recently opened up our nutrition program to non-members, because for a while it was just people who were actual members of our gym, but now we've opened the nutrition program as its own standalone program. So I'm really trying to actively talk to people that I work with, and, you know, basically anyone I come across who wants to have a conversation about nutrition. I always bring it up, because I want to grow this to the point where it's just a huge community of healthy, like-minded people. I want more people to have stories like mine. I want in years from now to be like, see all of these people, you know, when we all met, you know, none of us were healthy, and now look at all of us. And there are so many stories like that in our gym. There's a lot of us that have been working out together for, you know, 5 years now, between the last place we were at and then Project Fitness. And it's such an awesome feeling to see these people like go through their journey. And I want to keep that up. I want to keep seeing that, and I want to be part of that. You know, I don't want it to sound self-serving or whatever, but I love hearing, you know, people say, yeah, Kristina, like, she helped me. She's helped me on this fitness journey. I would have never done this without her. Like, that is an amazing feeling, especially coming from somebody who spent most of my life not being fit. Like, to hear that I've inspired anyone, that never gets old, ever. And I hope it never does.
It won't. It won't. Pethia said, let's go when I'm in Vegas, and I was like, in. So you'll see me at the gym when I come out. When is it? Like 2 Sundays from now? Two Sunday. No, like, I'll be out there Monday to like a week. I'll be out there a week straight, so we'll make it happen. And we're beginning to wrap up this awesome package. And is there any, you know, final calls to action or invitations for our audience to step up, to step into a new reality, a new paradigm, a new way of looking at the world?
Yes.
That we get to invite them to right now?
Make your health a priority. I mean, it sounds so simplistic, but it has to be a priority. You have to actively work on it. It's not just going to happen on its own. And please don't tell me you don't have time. That is one argument that I can't, like, I get it. We're all busy, but I've got 3 jobs. I've got a kid. I work out 6 days a week. And I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying that because if I can do it, there's nothing special about me. I'm not a superhero. I don't have any special powers. I do it because I've made it a priority. And I think when you and I were talking the other day, I told you, when people say I don't have time for that, I always say, change the wording of it and say it's not a priority, and see how that makes you feel. Because if it's not a priority, that's okay. Everybody has a different time frame for their journey. Not everybody wants to make going to the gym a priority, but be honest with yourself about it. Don't tell me you don't have time. Everyone has time. Everyone can take 20 minutes out of their day to be active. Everyone can take an hour or 2 out of their entire week to get some food ready for the week. You can make the time. You just have to want to do it. It has to be a priority, and sometimes what happens is the things that you are making a priority now, going out with your friends, watching a lot of TV, whatever it is, sometimes those things have to go by the wayside. You have to shift what's important to you and what you make time for. But if you want your health to be a priority, it will be.
Yeah. And I love that, you might have to give up what's comfortable. You might have to give up the quote unquote good to get to the great.
Yes.
Be willing to surrender to the process, to your greatness.
And it's going to be hard. You're going to fail. You're going to face enormous challenges, and it's going to be difficult, and you're going to want to scream. You're going to want to give up. But if you don't, I promise the rewards are amazing, regardless of what your goals are. And that's with anything in life. It's the harder the journey is, the better the rewards.
Yeah. And I'm even better than I'm going to step up your, if you give up or, whatever that is like, you have no excuse to give up. You really don't. You know better. You have people who want to support you, who have your freaking back. You have no excuse. We're here for you to make sure that you win. Reach out, send Kristina a message. If you want help, raise your freaking hand, get out of your own way, and let people know that you want something. Let people know that you aspire to a better quality of life, more energy, more health, more vitality, living longer, seeing your grandkids, whatever it is for you, building the epic business, traveling the world. Whatever that is for you. Maybe it's a six-pack shredded. I don't know. Whatever it is for you.
Whatever your thing is.
Get it.
There's always help if you ask for it.
Yes. Yeah, and with so much information, so many people available, like you got it. Like you got this.
Yep.
You got this. Awesome. So Kristina, how do people stay connected with you, and what do we want them to do next?
Well, for me personally, if you want to message me here on Facebook, or I don't know if it's on there anywhere, but my Instagram handle is barbell_diva. Yep. You can message me on there. And then if you're interested at all in our gym, it's projectfitnesslv.com. And all the information for our gym and for the nutrition program is on there. So multiple ways. And if you want help, ask for it. Even if you're not looking for nutrition help, even if you just want to get fit, get a good workout in, let us know. We can help you. Doesn't matter your skill level. That's another falsehood. People think they have to be fit to start doing CrossFit. You don't. We have workouts for every skill level, every age. We've got people from the little 6-year-olds in our CrossFit kids up to people in their retirement age. So we've got something for everybody.
You can start with the PVC pipe.
Yep, absolutely. Everybody starts with the PVC pipe.
Got to get that form down, baby.
Yeah, I see you've been to a CrossFit class.
Yes. So Awesome stuff. Kristina, you're amazing. Thank you for all the work that you do. And for everyone listening, definitely take her up on her offer, connect with her, ask for that help, raise your hand, or just even let her know that she inspired you. Let her know what your goals are, what you're going for. It's always fun to connect with like-minded people. I love hearing about people who are on their rise to success, to being a bigger influencer, impacting thousands, millions, billions, whatever the number is. It's always cool to see that there's people who are driven, who have similar values, that we're not alone. And in this, you know, when we're striving for incredible things, to lose 100 pounds, I think the biggest thing that we're looking for is to know that we're not alone, to know that that someone has done this, that someone has our back, that we're not, you know, like hopeless, that there is hope, that there's people around us who believe in it. Yeah.
You can do it, for sure.
So message Kristina. Connect with her, Instagram, barbell_diva, and I'll be seeing you at Project Fitness.
All right. Thanks, Chris.
Awesome. We'll see you soon, okay?
Okay, bye.